Let's rank some mid-round running backs on Fantasy Football Today in 5. Hello, folks. I'm Adam with Dave. We're talking about running backs, 18 through 27 in the consensus rankings in PPR. How do you rank those running backs, Dave?
I've got David Montgomery at the top of the heap. I feel like he's the safest, certainly has the highest touchdown potential just based on that role in Detroit. Follow that with Zamir White. I know it's a small sample size, but I really liked what I saw from him and the Raiders offense in general. James Conner's next. A lot of that has to do with his track record, but I also think Arizona's offense is going to be pretty good. And I don't think James Conner's going to give up that role quite easily to Trey Benson. Zach Moss behind him. Love the landing spot. Jonathan Brooks is 5th. Najee Harris 6th. Tony Pollard 7th. Aaron Jones 8th. Ramondre Stevenson 9th. And bringing up the rear, DeAndre Swift in Chicago.
Yeah, Ramondre 9th is really late, I would say. I have some scenarios for you that I want to see how they would change your rankings. But talk to me about why you have Ramondre Stevenson toward the bottom of that group.
I don't see him as a particularly explosive running back, and I still think he's going to share work even though Zeke is gone. Antonio Gibson's there. It's also a new coaching staff. And the framework for this offense, yes, it's created some really good running backs. We talked about it on the main show. James Conner in Arizona last year. Nick Chubb in Cleveland, although those two running backs just are definitely not the same. I don't think that this is a spot that's conducive to a running back putting up huge fantasy points. I don't think that the Patriots are going to score a lot of points. I don't think the line is that good. I think the offense, I think their goals are going to be to be competitive every game, of course, but I think they want to just kind of bring Drake May along. I think that that's going to be a focal point for them. They're not there to try and bring Ramondre Stevenson along. And Jamie pointed this out on the main show too. Ramondre just got paid. He was going to be in a contract year otherwise. That does mean the coaching staff likes him. It means the coaching staff wants to use him. But now that motivation, that dangling of the carrot isn't in front of him.
Come on. I mean, he's a professional. He's a professional, Dave Richard.
As a professional, he's never averaged 15 PPR points per game.
Jonathan Brooks is ready for training camp and he's ready for week 1. He will be good to go for week 1. How does that change your rankings with Brooks?
I would be very tempted to put him at the top of this list because we saw how Dave Canales used Rachaad White almost as his exclusive running back, that almost an every down guy, and certainly a guy that can catch the ball in the backfield. That is a strength to Jonathan Brooks' game. Yeah, if he's participating in training camp and even they let him loose in a preseason game or two, maybe he's recovered from the ACL. Maybe they don't use kid gloves on him. I think he would have top 12 upside. So yeah, he'd be at the top of this list.
All right. The tweets are all over the place because Ben Johnson just said that Jahmyr Gibbs is going to get more work at the goal line this year. What does that do to David Montgomery, who's at the top of this group for you?
He would probably fall quite a bit from the top of this list because if he's not scoring touchdowns, what's he doing? Change of pace back, physical grinder, 4-minute back for the Detroit Lions. It would also mean that Jahmyr Gibbs would be like a top 5 pick in fantasy, and David Montgomery would probably go toward the bottom of this list, if not toward the bottom of my running back rankings, period.
Khalil Herbert gets traded. Holy cow. Khalil Herbert gets traded to the Dallas Cowboys. Do you rank him ahead of DeAndre Swift?
No, because Swift is going to lose a teammate that would make up the backfield. The reason why I'm scared of Swift is because there's 2 other guys he's going to share with, Herbert and Roschon. If the Bears move on from Herbert, I think it probably means that Travis Homer will play a minimal role on long third downs, but otherwise Roschon will split with Swift, and I'd be much more comfortable with Swift. I'd probably put him maybe like top 4 on this list if that happens.
Okay.
And then Herbert probably would be in this range. Yeah, as the lead Dallas running back sharing with Zeke. Why wouldn't he be in that same range right around where I've got Pollard and Aaron Jones? He'd probably be behind them, but not by much.
All right. I'm going to stop you there. For more on this group, check out our full-length podcast. We did a Thursday episode dedicated to those 10 running backs and trying to figure out which ones to get. And ADP is going to have a lot to say in regards to how we draft these running backs. That's Dave Richard. I'm Adam Azer. Have a great weekend, everybody. Talk to you Monday.